Hi guys, welcome to Tea with Mir. My name is Mira and you're watching the second speed build on my channel, and this is called a book cafe. As the name already suggests, it's an amalgamation of a bookshop and a cafe, and this lot is well suited for San Marcello. You can function this lot as a cafe, as a library, as a retail shop, restaurant, or a lounge area. So, depending on what venue you want it to be, you can add the appropriate items to fulfill the lot requirements, and voila, I think it'd be perfect. Now, this is a book cafe, and I'm excited to build this because we don't have such a thing where I come from, in Singapore. We don't have that, so I've always dreamed of like going to a book cafe. Maybe we do have, but I've not been to one. But I reckoned they are a much smaller establishment as compared to the one that I'm building right here. This book cafe that I'm building, it is inspired by a bookshop in Singapore that's quite famous, sort of, and it's called Books Actually. And I have been there a number of times. I brought my parents and family over there. I've brought my friends as well. It's actually a local bookshop which sells books from local authors. And some of these authors are actually my schoolmates and my professors and veterans and old writers and new writers, and a lot of the books touched on social issues and what cultural issues, and lots of funny texts as well, serious texts, and you have like plenty of literature to choose from. So I would really recommend a lot of my foreign friends to come and visit Books Actually if they have the time. Um, it's sort of a little bit hipsterish in a way, but I still like the small bookshop. This books cafe that I'm building, there are bookshelves all around this level 1 area. And of course, as you can see, I kind of like overlapped the bookshelves and they look glitchy. I don't quite mind glitch, but for some of you who don't like glitches, you can always remove some of them. Yeah, so no worries about it. Okay, so the interior of this book cafe, I intended to use the color scheme, uh, sky blue, sea greens, and turquoise, and just a very warm hue of green and blues mixed together. And I thought it looks quite calming. This is juxtaposed to the exterior because the exterior has black and yellow sort of like color scheme, so it doesn't really match with the inside. From the outside it looks a little bit classy, but once you get inside, it looks totally different and hip and cool. And I really like how I decided to make a perpendicular like a bar area where you can purchase cannolis and scones, and if you want to run it as a restaurant you can also go over to that what's it called, the cake display on the other side. And it looks kind of nice to do perpendicular because usually I do it I make the bar stand at just one wall, if you get what I'm trying to say. Yes, so at this level 1 there's plenty of seats for your sims to sit on and have a chat with their friends and eat and drink coffee and tea, and maybe read some books. So this place has a very good balance of like it's not too big for a cafe, and it's just small enough for like it to be a library area as well. So I think there's a very good balance of quiet and noise. I think, at least I think so. This book cafe is also inspired by the cafes that I've been to in Singapore. For example, the coffee beans and tea leaves, and also Starbucks as well. And I really like the idea of having lower level sitting where there are comfortable chairs and sofas and poofs. And my mother recommended to put some pillows as well and cushions, but I don't think we have that in Sims 4. And there's also like a place where you can eat as well. So there are dining areas and also sitting areas. Now, another feature of this book cafe is the level 2 of this area. And this level 2 that I've decided to make, it's called a book launch area. I think a conference area, if I must say, and it is inspired by the time when my university friends and I volunteered to do a public reading of our writing, and we had to read our stories that we had written in our creative writing class. So a number of strangers who came to attend the function, and it was nerve-wracking, but it was very exciting because I've never really done it before. Like, I've never really gone public with my stories. And I had to stand on a stool in books actually, which is which was a very small space, and people had to stand and listen to me as I read a story about my trip to South Korea. And that was a very nice experience, and I wanted to recreate that by building this second level where people can convene and listen to a public reading, or maybe that could be a storytelling group that wants to meet and gather over there, or it can also be like a book launch area. And this idea, it's kind of inspired by Nick Miller from New Girl, because I was watching him trying to sell, launch, and promote his book in a bookshop. And I thought that was a pretty neat idea. At first, I put in like a rostrum or a podium, but it looks a little bit presidential and formal and rigid, so I decided to do away with it and only just and put just a microphone and a bar stool. And of course, I think it's very important to put like a beautiful background. So, you can always take a great picture, and there is like a name of that cafe on top, so people will know that there is a book reading or a book launch. And I thought it's Instagram worthy, I think. A good background is always a must. And this area as well, I put in some coffee tables and dining tables for Sims to sit and eat if there is no function going on. Um, at first, I put in a couple of black chairs over there, but I thought maybe they were obstructing the way, so I decided to do away with it. I also put some skylights at the top of that book lounge area, and it looks beautiful with the sun gleaming into that place, and it feels like you're in an airport in a way. There is also a kitchen area on in level 1, and I didn't really pay much attention to the kitchen and to the toilet, so please forgive me for not making it beautiful. Right. So there is also a veranda that I've decided to make at the back of the book cafe. This veranda, it's a little bit of a problem for me because I did not really know how to design outdoor landscapes to make it look beautiful. But I know that in my head, I wanted to make a veranda for in the book cafe because it I wanted to recreate the moment or the time when I was in Germany, Stuttgart, Germany, and behind my apartment there was a garden, and on Sunday mornings I would take my book and read at the garden, and it was so calming and peaceful, and there were bees buzzing and birds chirping, and the cold air caressed my face, and I thought it was a one of the most beautiful feeling that I've ever experienced, and I wanted to recreate that in this bookshop. Yes, I did struggled with trying to make it look beautiful. At first, yeah, as you can see in this video, I tried to make like a spa sitting area with some benches where Sims can sit and read. But they look nice, but I wasn't too satisfied. I wasn't too happy with it. And at the end, I kind of decided to do like just a veranda, a simple veranda. Yeah, so it was a little bit hard to think about what I should do exactly. Yeah, I really wanted to make a place where you can read your books outdoors and you are connected to the nature. You can smell the nature, you can see the nature. At the same time, you are fully immersed in your books, and I wanted to recreate that. It was a little bit hard. I also love the idea of mix matching. Mismatching? Like mismatching, there we go. Mismatching the chairs in the cafe because it really adds character and it adds sort of like a dynamic and hip factor to the cafe. I thought that having everything like if I had all the chairs look similar, I think it looked a little bit bland, so I decided to mismatch the chairs, the type of chairs, and also the colors as well, and it really works quite well. I'm quite pleased with it. For the veranda, I've decided to put in a couple of like gazebos and a graffiti area. I don't think that is quite fitting, but I just put it anyway. If you want to take it out, you can take it out if you want. And I've also put like an area for bands to play, and it reminded me of oh, excuse me. It reminded me of a YouTube kind of like channel called the MPRs, where they would invite indie bands, underground bands, and sometimes famous bands as well to come and play in their bookshop. So if you can see, if you browse through the MPRs videos, you can see that the bands are playing in front of bookshelves, around bookshelves. So I thought it was pretty a cool idea to invite a couple of bands to come and play at the bookshop. It gives the bookshop more character, and people will be more willing to go to bookshops, instead of just like if they don't like books, they can listen to music as well. And I really love the trolley that comes with books because it looks like a library and it's I wanted to put it outdoors and on the second level as well. It really looks like like somebody is trying to keep the books clean by having that trolley around them. Yeah, so if you like this build, you can download it under my Sims gallery called Tea with Mir, and I'm thankful that you came to watch this. So thank you for watching. If you like it, give a like and thumbs up and subscribe perhaps. Bye.